Hello my beautiful and makeup loving friends. If this is your first time to my channel, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Emily and today we are going to be testing out some new products and overall just be playing with makeup. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. It is gray and rainy and dreary and classic typical Washington weather today. Honestly, I haven't seen the weather like this in a really long time, so I'm not really complaining, but I don't know, I'm feeling kind of down in the dumps, so I figured I would just try out some new products that I've been meaning to test here on the channel. So I'm basically just going to be testing out the BP Perfect Carnival palette. This is in collaboration with Stacey Mua on Instagram. She does the most gorgeous, beautiful looks. I actually found her Instagram through P. Louise, and they do the most beautiful, intricate, perfect cut creases over there, and Stacey does basically the same type of makeup, so I definitely knew I had to get my paws on her palette. I'm also going to be testing out some goodies that I got from Smolder Cosmetics. Now, I saw them on Instagram, and the actual products themselves look beautiful. I'm not really one to go for powder products like this. I'm the kind of person that likes pressed products. I find it way easier because I am messy as all hell, so I try to avoid powder products like this, but the actual shades of the colors they came out with I think are beautiful, and I wanted to give them a go, so that's what we're going to be doing here today. So I'm just hopping right on into my eye primer right here with my Smashbox Photo Focus Lid Primer in the shade Light. I don't want anything too crazy today because I'm probably just going to be taking this off as soon as I'm done with this video, but I figured I would go ahead and prime the eyes so we can give the eyeshadows a fair chance. Alright, let's get this party started, shall we? So I'm going to go ahead and hop in with the shade Wifey here. This is a beautiful berry pinky red shade. I have been eyeballing it since I got this palette and I haven't really tried a whole lot of shades from the palette yet. I'm just going to start sketching out the actual shape of the eye look I want, as I usually do. I want this to be a little bit more rounded today because I'm going to try and go in with some Smoky liner, and I can wing it out when I go in with the liner, so I want the actual eye shape itself to be a bit more rounded. And as you can see, this shade is beautifully pigmented. I didn't have to dip my brush back in a whole bunch of times. I only dipped my brush in twice for this eye, and this eye I messed up a little bit right up here, so I went back in 3 times to try and cover that up, but this is gorgeously pigmented. It's a beautiful shade as well. It's kind of like a deeper magenta berry. These are some of my favorite tones to use in eye looks. Now, going in with my e.l.f. blender brush, I'm just going to hop into the shade Foolish, which is this neon, peachy, beautiful gorgeousness over here. And I'm just going to start to blend this out. I absolutely love gorgeous neon peachy shades like this, and this is blending just phenomenally. And I have used this palette before, but I basically only used 2 shades from it. I've used the super neon hot pink and that super beautiful true purple. So I haven't really gone in with a whole lot else from this palette, and I've been meaning to test it out, but I've done a few reviews on palettes here on my channel and I've tried to just kind of focus on those. So I am finally able to give this guy my full and undivided attention. And hopping in with my Makeup Addiction Precise Blender brush, I'm going to go ahead and pick up some more of Wifey here, and I'm just going to tap a little bit into Guilty, which seems to be the same type of color. It might just be a touch more red toned and a little bit deeper, but I just want to deepen up the crease a little bit more with this. So how many of you guys are watching American Horror Story right now? And how are we feeling about it? Because if I'm giving my honest opinion, I think this might be my favorite season yet. I absolutely love what's going on with the show right now. And surprisingly, I love Michael, even though I didn't think I would. I freaking love that man, so I like what's going on here. I'm really excited to see what happens next, and I cannot wait an entire week until the next episode. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. I don't know what to do with myself. It's like all I can think about. It's probably not a good thing, but I absolutely love it. They really knocked it out of the park with this season so far. So this looks pretty good in my opinion so far. I like that it's kind of monochromatic, and I like that it's basically just different variations of berry tones. But I'm going to go ahead and cut the crease as I always do. So I'm just picking up my ColourPop No Filter Concealer in the shade 00, which is the white concealer. And I'm always nervous to do this on camera, so wish me luck. One eye down, one to go. So now that the cut crease is done, I'm going to go ahead and hop into my NYX glitter glue here, and I'm just going to pat over top of where I cut the crease with just a little bit of glitter glue. This way we have something for the Smolder Cosmetics powder to stick to, because it's just a loose powder and I find that they most of the times work better with glitter glue. So now getting into the fun Smolder Cosmetics part of this look. So I'm going to be taking the shade Pink Golden. This is one of their loose glam dusts. I basically bought a set of 2 shades and one of their little smolder potions here. And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to put a drop of the smolder potion into the actual cap of the product and then mix in some of the powder, kind of like a mad scientist. So I'm really excited for this, and these swatches that they do on their Instagram look absolutely beautiful, so I'm really hoping that I'm able to get a similar effect today. I am seriously hoping that it's not just smoke and mirrors, because what they show on the Instagram looks absolutely stunning. But I'm gonna go ahead and take the dropper here and I don't know, just drop maybe 1 or 2 drops. I'm not 100% sure on the exact measurements, and I probably should have looked it up before this, but alas, we are here now and we are just gonna roll with it. I just took a little scoop of the product and now I'm just mixing it together in the little container. Just like so. Just getting everything nice and incorporated. Alright, looks pretty good to me, so I'm gonna go ahead and just start patting this right over top of my eyeball. And this is supposed to be a kind of peachy, pinky gold shade. Hence why it's called Pink Gold. Duh. So I mixed in a little bit more liquid. I basically put 3 little tiny drops of the liquid in with 1 little scoop of the actual powder. I just scooped it out with my brush. So I think that when going in with this type of product, you basically need to mix it into a almost liquidy consistency. Not too runny, it still needs to be a little bit thick, but it definitely needs to be incorporated and it needs to have a bit more liquid to it than I typically would want to put in something like this. I feel like usually when I go for mixing mediums and go for powder products like this, I tend to make them a bit chunkier and a bit more on the dry side, just because I'm always scared of making it too liquidy. But I feel like for this specific product, you definitely need to put in a bit more liquid than you might be used to. So I'm going in on the other eye now, so I'm just gonna basically do 3 little drops. And then taking just a little scoop of powder like so, and just gonna mix it all together just like I did before. And patting right over the glitter glue. As you can see, when I mix more of the liquid in, the shadow looks much smoother and I'm able to basically get full pigmentation with just 1 swipe on my eye. So I think that is definitely the trick with this kind of product. I just picked up some of Wifey on my Makeup Addiction blender brush that I used earlier, and I'm just gonna mesh these 2 colors together. So now we are gonna move right along into Smoky liner. Now I have never done this in my life before, so I am kind of just hoping and praying here that it turns out okay, but I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this shade Liquor down here, which is a beautiful kind of plummy brown shade. And I'm just picking that up on a little pencil brush here, and I'm basically gonna start stamping this just right on the lash line. I've seen people do this before on YouTube, so I'm basically just going off of my knowledge from that. As I bring this outwards, I'm basically just going to start to flick the eyeshadow out like I would with my liner. And then I'm just going to flip the brush over on the opposite side and just start smudging here. And now I'm just going to repeat the same step on the opposite eye. I don't know if it's going to be that noticeable on camera, but on this eye over here, where I placed down the Smolder Cosmetics powder shadow, it seems to be cracking where I'm going over top of it with the actual pressed eyeshadow. So I don't really know what that's about. I can see it starting to happen over on this side as well. So let me go ahead and start blending over. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that well on camera, but it seems to be cracking just a little bit. We want our eyelids to look smooth and flawless and not look crackled, so I don't really know how I feel about that yet. But just gonna wing this out again and just gonna smudge. So this looks a little bit crazy, I'll admit it, but I'm going to clean it up with some concealer in just a little bit. But until then, I'm going to go ahead and pick up some of this other Smolder Cosmetics shade that I got, which is called Wild Orchid. And I'm basically going to do the same exact thing that I did before. I'm just going to drop a few drops of the Smolder potion into the cap and mix in some of the powder. So let's go ahead and take this Smolder potion. I'll just do 2 drops for this one because this is just going to be for the inner corner and the upper brow bone. This shade looked like a beautiful duochrome purpley lilac shade online. And as you can see, this color is absolutely stunning and to die for. I absolutely adore this color. That is so freaking beautiful. Wow, just wow. I actually really like this one a lot more than I thought I would. I thought that I was gonna prefer the pink gold just because, you know me, I'm into pink eyeshadow and whatnot, but this is the most beautiful, like, warm lavendery duochrome shade I think I've ever seen. So now I'm just gonna hit the brow bone with this guy. Yeah, that is like, that is freaking beautiful. So jumping in with my Morphe M578, I just picked up some of Wifey, which was that first beautiful berry tone that we initially started the look out with. I'm just going to go ahead and run this right under the lower lash line. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop off camera for a moment and clean this look up a little bit. I don't know how I'm feeling about it right now. I'm not feeling too confident about it, but I'm gonna see if I can redeem this and see if I can make it look good. So I will be back in just a couple minutes. So I just went ahead and popped on some really fluffy, flirty lashes. I always go for fluffy lashes no matter what look I am doing. I popped on some nude inner rim liner down on the bottom here, and I went ahead and spritzed down my brush with some setting spray, and I picked up a little bit more of Wild Orchid, and I really intensified the inner corner as you can see here. And for the brow bone, I intensified it a little bit as well with the Wild Orchid shade. And I just used my setting spray. I didn't want to use any more of the Smolder potion. I don't know, I just didn't really get the effect that I wanted from that stuff. So as far as the Smolder Cosmetics powder shadows go, I really enjoy the Wild Orchid shade. I think the color is beautiful. I think the texture is nice and smooth, but for some reason when I mix it together with the Smolder potion, especially with the pink gold shade, I found that it kind of chunked the product up a little bit, and you can definitely see it on my eyes. You can see where I placed over the smudgy liner. You can definitely see that the product actually cracked quite a bit and it doesn't really look that great. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to test these out a little bit more. I will definitely update you guys, and I really just don't know how to feel about them right now, and I don't like to come on camera and give kind of like an up in the air opinion, but I really truly don't. I think I'm gonna need to play with them a little bit more, but so far I am absolutely loving the Wild Orchid shade. I am definitely gonna be reaching for that more often for the inner corner and the brow bone. I just don't really know how I feel about the product for the overall lid itself, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it a fair shot and test it a little bit more. Now, the BP Perfect palette, oh my god, it is freaking stunning. You saw how pigmented it was when I put the initial berry shade down, and as you can see on my eyes today, it is very neon. This look took me about 15 minutes, which is very fast for me because sometimes I can take literally 45 minutes blending out an eyeshadow look. So the fact that I was able to get this done in 15 minutes is absolutely amazing to me, and I really love the pigmentation of all of the shadows that I've tried from the palette so far. So that is an A+ for me as of right now. Now, I'm not super crazy about this look. I love the colors and I love the blend that I was able to get up in the crease, but I feel like once I put the Smolder shadow onto the lid, I feel like that's where I kind of went downhill. I'm definitely going to be recreating this look. I might end up just doing an all matte look. This way I can prevent any cracking of any sorts when I go to put on the shadow liner, because I think that this could be really pretty if I just kind of took my time with it a little bit more and didn't put anything on the lid that I know is going to kind of break apart and crack. I really like the color scheme though, and I think that it turned out pretty okay for what I was working with here. But that is going to be wrapping up this video. It was a little bit more of a spur of the moment video. I didn't really think it through as much as I typically do with my videos, but I still hope that you enjoyed it. I just wanted to play with the makeup that I had lying around that I haven't really had a chance to test out and play with yet. But if you have any of these Smolder Cosmetics eyeshadows, please let me know how to use them properly. And I'm gonna do some research to see if I just did something wrong. I want to watch some reviews on it. I always try to go into reviews on products without having any prior knowledge to them if I can, so I didn't want to look up any reviews beforehand because I wanted to just test these out and see if I could make them work on my own without actually having to look anything up, but it looks like I might have to end up doing that. But let me know down in the comments if you use these often, if you like them. Let me know how you get them to work because I bought them and I want to use them. But with that being said, I do hope that you consider subscribing if you have not already. I am doing all sorts of makeup goodness happening right here on this channel, so if you are not already subscribed and you would like to be, I would love to see you hit that button down below. I do also hope that you consider giving this video a big ol' thumbs up and turning on the notification bell if you want to know when I am posting. That is a mouthful, but I hope you are having an absolutely amazing and beautiful day wherever you are, and thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time. Bye!